Hello, 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 Filter-Free America podcast listeners. Welcome back to the aforementioned podcast. Yes, it's another episode of the Filter-Free America podcast, and it's a little bit of a longer one, so we're going to jump right in and get down to the description of the episode. And here's what I need you guys to do first. I need you first to grab your sweaty, stinky, hairy crystal balls, because this episode's guest is Renee VanTol, psychic medium. That's right. She is a psychic medium. And to start, I already want to, because I hear it already. I hear the eyes rolling already. Let me address the doubters first. I know this is not something that you believe in. It's something you think is poppycock. All right. I understand that. But let's first remember what is the mission of the Filter-Free America podcast, and that is to have the conversation. Always have the conversation, okay? Even if it's something that you don't believe in, something you don't support, have the conversation. Educate yourself on the subject as much as you can, and it's not going to hurt you to know more than you did the day before, right? My goal is simply to explore humanity with conversations, and that is definitely the intent here, okay? I'll let you guys know I didn't challenge her view. I didn't challenge her view at all during the conversation. I simply talked to her about them, had her explain them to me, and I asked questions without casting any kind of judgment here. So if you're expecting me to try to bust somebody out for being a fraud or being a fake or something, didn't happen. Just here to have the conversation. Also, just to be clear, this episode is not meant to take a position either pro or con on the subject or believability of psychics and mediums. I, again, just wanted to have the conversation. So you know what we cover. We do talk about her childhood, how and when she realized her abilities, her time working in LA. She just recently kind of moved back here to the area, so she was for many years living in Los Angeles. And she talks in great detail about the Hollywood cult parties or groups in the area, and dealing mostly with the famous and the elite in the area. And she even attended some very bizarre parties that she talks about as well, too. A couple other things we talked about. She talks about having conversations with suicide victims. I even talked to her about Jeffrey Epstine. I asked her what he's doing, and her answer may or may not surprise you. And then towards the end, she talks about my past life. She uses her powers, her abilities, right, to look into my past, right, my past lives. And she gives a very detailed description of who I was many years ago, and how I died even. So we get to hear that. And then also she tries to connect with my dead mother. She tries to reach out into the spirit world and conversate with my dead mother. And I'm not going to tell you ahead of time if it worked or if it didn't. Or there may be some surprises. Maybe there's some surprise guests. But that's towards the end of the episode there. So regardless if you believe in the concept of psychics and mediums, this can be an entertaining conversation for you regardless, right? Because if you're into that, right, if you believe in that stuff, then you know it's just another conversation with another psychic and medium. But if you don't believe in it, then you at least get to hear somebody who does believe it, right? At least she came across to me that she believes what she's talking about. And I don't know. I won't give you any heads up one way or the other how I feel after the conversation. We'll talk about that in the end. But go into it with an open mind, and at least go into it listening just to entertain yourself, if nothing else. It definitely was an interesting conversation to have. I do want to give her a plug, though, if you're interested in her services, or if you just want to go check out her website. Her website is ReneeVanTole.com. Renee, Renee, Van, VanTole, TOL.com. Renee VanTole. I'll put a link on the connection to the description of this episode. And you can go check out her services there. She's got a very nice website as well, too. Real quick, let's mention our sponsor, who is a website builder, simplewebsite.us, simplewebsite.us, simplewebsite.us. And if you don't know, I'm going to tell you, Simple Website, what they do is, their business model is this. You know the Squarespace website builder, right? Yeah, everybody knows that. Well, what they've done is mastered the Squarespace website builder, right? They've learned everything that you can possibly learn, every turn, every trick, every skill required to make beautiful Squarespace websites. They learned it all, right? And now they're marketing that expertise to you, right? Now, you're supposed to be able to build your own website on there, and I believe a lot of people can. A lot of good, smart people out there can. But some people, like myself, have limited skills and abilities and patience when it comes to things online, like building sites on Squarespace. So I didn't get mine built. I needed help. I turned it over to them. I told them what I wanted. They built me a website, and you can check that out now. That's filterfreeamerica.com. Filterfree America. America is always intentionally misspelled with the letter K.com. And you can check out the website, learn more about the podcast, find all kinds of links of other places you can listen to us, get some information on how to contact me, all right there on the website, and see what simplewebsite.us can do for you. Now, do want to point out, you don't have to go to them with them expecting to build your website from the ground up. No. Because if you just need a little bit of help, just a little bit of improvement on a Squarespace website that you've already built, they'll be more than happy to do that too. Or if you continue to just do it on your own, you don't want any help whatsoever, still advise going to simplewebsite.us and check out their free tips and tricks section, where they give you some free information on how to make building on Squarespace even easier for you. All right. Lastly, before we kick off here, please take time to rate and subscribe to the Filter Free America podcast. The numbers are growing. I definitely appreciate that, but let's keep the ball rolling. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so you don't miss any episodes. And if you're subscribing to a platform like iTunes, where you can leave ratings, leave the 5 stars and say a word or two about enjoying the podcast. That is very helpful to me as far as helping expand the reach and power of the Filter Free America podcast. It's so powerful. Also, don't forget my stand-up comedy album, Neck Tattoos and GEDs, or The Secret to My Success, is free to listen to on places like Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, Google Play. I think it's iHeartRadio. Just look up Joey Vincent Neck Tattoos and GEDs. It usually pops up right away on any of those streaming services, and you can check out my stand-up comedy album as well too. Okay, that's it. Let's kick this episode off. Good, we're doing good time here. So we needed a title for this episode, and I wanted to make this another kind of clean one. No fancy turns or twists or codes within the title here. It's just LA Psychic Medium, Renee VanTol with Renee VanTol, right? That's all you need, right? Somebody's going to see Psychic Medium in LA. That's going to be enough for people to click. That was my math on this. Okay, so here we go. LA Psychic Medium, Renee VanTol, right here on the Filter Free America podcast. Let's go.
Call me now.
Pick up the phone and start dialing.
Call me now.
Pick up the phone and start dialing.
Call me now for your free tarot reading.
Read my future.
Tomorrow will be like today, and the day after tomorrow will be like the day before yesterday.
I have a strong psychic belief.
I'm kind of psychic.
According to my source, I call to the speakers of the dead. Come to me. Come to me.
All right. So start by telling me, when did you discover that you had this ability? Or abilities, I guess, would be.
I had them my entire life. I was born with them, and I didn't really know they were anything different than anybody else had. I thought everybody was like that.
Can you give me an example of like earliest age?
Yes.
Kind of thing that you experienced?
I got in a lot of trouble as a small child. I remember being little, probably like 2 or 3, and it was at a Christmas family function. And I remember looking up at all the adults and wondering why they weren't talking about anything real. Like each one of my family had something very serious, or I thought, to me, it seemed urgent, of things to talk about that was really going on with them. And instead they just all talked very superficially. And I was just like, well, why are they doing it when then this is happening and this is happening and so is sick? And it was, I just always wondered about that. And then when I started talking and saying what I saw, I just got told to shut up, and nobody wants to hear that.
Like, what were you saying that was they were telling to shut up about?
Well, I suggested to my parents that they divorce.
Okay.
I told my grandfather he was allergic to alcohol.
Okay.
Alcoholism. I didn't know. And he said, well, who told you that? And I said, those people that talk to me. And he was like, I don't know. And just, stuff like that really nobody wanted to hear.
Right.
Especially from a 3-year-old.
So who were the people, who did you perceive the people that were talking to you at that time? What did you think they were? Or who were they?
I just thought that everybody had spirits or angels, whatever they were talking to them or guarding them or around. I used to not be able to differentiate between a real person and a spirit.
Okay.
When I was little.
When you say spirit, is this just a voice that comes to you, or when you say is there
Now it's a
embodied
voice.
Something in the room with you?
But it used to be a very, somebody I could actually see.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Is it one person or is it multiple people?
It would be one or two, three different people.
Okay. Can you tell me what they looked like to you, or?
One I can remember very well. He looked like an old-fashioned doctor, like from the 1800s or something. Okay. And he had an English accent.
Okay.
And he wore these funny little glasses, and he carried a doctor's case.
Okay.
Another was a beautiful woman who I used to just call her the Queen because she was so beautiful. And I thought Queen equals beauty, a 3-year-old brain. And then one was a little girl.
Okay. Did each one give you certain types of, like, did the doctor guy give you like intelligent stuff? Like, it's like, oh, this is,
no,
when you ever need to know something.
They just kind of are watching over me, I'd say. The information I would get about a person, I would get through my own brain, myself. But say the doctor guy was there, and I would say, oh, my grandfather's sick, he shouldn't be drinking. And I would think, what is that? And then I'd probably get allergic to alcohol probably from him.
Okay. Interesting. Was this ever scary to you at all, starting as a kid?
Never. I just thought it was as normal as anything.
Were you using it as a kid? Were you predicting stuff? Were they giving anything like that? Was it? Did you feel like you had any kind of control over this at all at this time?
No, I had no idea how to control it. Okay. It was just always something there. And I think when I was, a kid, what I could see was the real person behind the facade.
Okay.
I could see what was really going on with somebody. I could go into a room and feel the energy of that room and know why it was like that. And I don't know, it was just very normal for me.
Okay. Did I don't know if I had asked this yet or not. Did it ever scare you? Were you ever scared by any of this stuff as a kid?
God, I must have been.
Either seeing the people or, I don't know, just feeling different at that age?
I didn't feel...
Because you thought everybody had it.
Yeah, I thought everybody... And I was just like, well... Like, when I got into school, I was like, well, why aren't they, using their abilities to see what was going on? I just thought everybody was very blocked off, maybe.
Okay. Did you ever talk about it to a parent or anything? Did you ever say,
I
hey,
talked about it all the time.
did anybody listen at this time?
They all just told me to shut up.
Really?
Yeah. See, this is going to be hard because I don't want to say, like, kind of point anybody out, but I told my father that I said, the angels told me that you're not allowed to do this, because he had a bad temper. And he said, who? And I said, the angels. They said, this isn't the way life is supposed to be. And he just got so mad.
Really?
And I think I kind of I shut down after that.
Was there anybody else in your family that ever had any kind of abilities like this that you knew of?
Well, then I didn't know, but now I know that my dad is very psychic.
Really?
Yeah, my aunt is very psychic, and my mom is, and my sister. But they haven't found like the control panel to sort of use it. It
Okay.
just kind of comes and goes for them.
All right. So now that you know that about your dad, was that some of what he was frustrated about you talking about the angels before, was because he knew that he had?
No, I don't think anybody knew that they had it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nobody knew then. Okay. I think it's only since I've grown up and talked to them that they've kind of realized.
All right. So for the audience, kind of describe to me, when you sent your email to me, you said you're a psychic and a medium. Mm-hmm. Can you kind of give me just the laundry list of the abilities that you have and what you can do?
So, I think psychic sort of covers my ability to read a person's energy,
Okay.
see their past and their future, and maybe look at the things that they need to kind of work out so they can get on their best and highest path.
Okay.
So that's kind of like the psychic world. The medium world is where I talk to spirits who have passed and connect them to the people that are here and kind of translate spirit talk for people.
Okay. Makes sense. Individually, I was going off your website. It said you were able to do past life readings.
Yes, I love past life readings.
Okay. Tell me what a past life reading is. I think I know what it is, but
Okay.
just for clarification.
Well, and I can't swear to this because I really think that our brains are unable to really comprehend the vastness of all of this. So when I say reincarnation, that's just the only word that I know to really say it. But I think it might be more intricate than how we see reincarnation. So when I do past life, I ask to see the life that this person needs to help them heal. And I'll just and I'll just be able to see it. Just see their life whenever.
Do you talk? This wasn't listed in the thing, or maybe it is, and I just didn't catch how it was written on the website. But are you communicating with people who are dead?
When I'm doing past life stuff?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. But you can talk to people that are dead.
Oh, talk to people that are dead all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Do anybody of note? Anybody like?
I have one of my all-time favorite stories of note.
Okay. Tell me that.
All right. So, I love Vanity Fair magazine.
Okay. Magazine.
So, I was reading Vanity Fair a tri-billion years ago, and it was about Natalie Wood's death.
Okay.
So I'm just reading it, and I couldn't sleep. It's like 2 a.m, and I'm reading the article on Natalie Wood. And I didn't really know much about it. It was way before my time. And so I'm just reading, and all of a sudden I hear right in my ear, "He killed me, in this low, raspy, like cigarette voice.
Okay.
But I could actually feel like the breath. And that freaked me out. And I'd been doing this a long time at this point, and that was just like, it was so loud and just so right there. And I was like, okay. She goes, yeah, he just pushed me right off the boat. She was talking about Robert Wagner.
Really?
And she told me the whole story.
Holy cow.
Mm-hmm. And she was so matter of fact.
Are you seeing her at this time?
No, it's not. Okay, so now when I see a spirit, it's like I see them in my third eye, sort of, like in my mind.
Okay.
I can tell you where they are. I can tell you what they're wearing, what they're doing, but I can't see them like I see you.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask you more about talking with dead people
Okay.
later on. Another thing I had listed was energy healing.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, I'm sure there's like some actual word for it, but I just named it energy healing.
Okay.
And what I do is I take white, I call it white light, God's white light, and I think this white light is a very healing light, and I just take my hand and I run it over a person's body, and I find the place, like the place that doesn't feel right, just becomes my hand becomes really hot.
Okay.
And so I have the person closing their eyes, and I say, "Can you tell where my hand is?" And whenever I get to a spot that my hand gets hot, they can always feel it. So I just try to balance the energy of a person with this white light.
Okay. And does that cure things, or does that?
It can cure some things, but mostly, I can try to. I sense a diagnosis or something that needs to be diagnosed that they need to go see a doctor.
So to kind of determine where an injury is, or a.
Yeah, I can kind of tell what it is. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Astral travel.
So that's just kind of something fun. I can leave my body and just kind of float around.
Okay. Like anywhere in the world, or
Yeah, I go into space. When I heard that the rings around Saturn made noise,
Okay.
I wanted to go there and listen.
So how does that work? I mean, your physical body stays behind?
Oh yeah, you're definitely.
And is your mind
It's your
is just travel?
consciousness.
Okay.
It's just like your being, yourself,
Okay.
without a body. Your whole self goes.
How long does something like that? Do you have to prepare for something like that, or can you just like, I'm gonna go take a trip to
Yeah, I can just do it really easy.
Indonesia or something?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
So like right now, could you like go travel to the White House and see what Trump is doing? Could you go see?
I wouldn't want to, but I would.
see.
What if he had his underwear on and I had to see his butt or something?
That would be
I would never recover.
the psychic phenomenon for sure. See that? Okay, so that's interesting. Mm-hmm. Reading minds is pretty self-explanatory.
It is, but I don't really. I think it's kind of a no-no.
Okay.
So as I got older and I kind of fine-tuned and sort of realized how I could work with these abilities, I also I got a very firm and laid out list of rules that I had to follow. That kind of came together.
Just these are rules that just came to you, or were you talking with somebody who was acted as a guidance person for you?
Yeah, I have a spirit guide, and it's just kind of like it gets downloaded into my brain. It's hard to describe.
Okay.
But I just knew that that's not fair to people to read their minds. It's not a good thing to do unless, you're doing something that you need to. So I try to always be fair and walk in the light with this stuff.
Kind of like a rule of ethics, kind of like.
Yes, you have to be
think so.
ethical, I think.
Okay. And seeing the future, obviously, that one's pretty self-explanatory as well, too. Mm-hmm. Is that something you can do at any given time, or is that something that just comes to you?
No, I have to, I have to say, okay, I'm going to look in the future now. And then what I do is I say it to a place and a date.
Okay.
So I can go to a specific time.
Is there any rules or any parameters of what you're able to tell? I mean, can you do something as simplistic as, like who's going to win the baseball game? Who's going to win the World Series this year? Can you?
You know what? This does not work with gambling or that stuff.
Okay.
Although I have had a really good string of saying who's going to win the Super Bowl and by what points.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't know if that's psychic or luck.
Okay.
Because
So I was totally going to hit you up for a lottery number before you left. So
I've never won the lottery. You know what I think? I think if I was able to use it, like for gambling and lottery and stuff,
right.
like maybe it would tempt me to just do that, and that's kind of yucky.
Okay.
Although I wish
one
I could just do
lottery-
it once.
Yeah, one lottery would be fine.
Exactly.
So does that pretty much cover all what your list of abilities are? Is that? Did I miss anything?
I've worked on police cases and stuff.
Really?
I can find missing people.
Okay. Have you worked? What can you talk about? What departments you've worked with, or
I've worked on a couple of murder things.
really here in the Twin Cities, or okay? How much detail can you give me?
I can't give you a lot, but I can say for $5 million, trillion, trillion dollars, I probably would never do it again.
Really?
It is because of when they hire or when they seek out a psychic, it's because they have lost all hope
Right.
of solving the thing.
I was going to say, not to be insulting to you, but it's like
Yeah.
that's going to be the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, they're
last
desperation.
thing.
It's desperation at its desperate. So what they want from me was, okay, find the murder weapon, do this, do that. I mean, just some really extreme stuff. And if you can't do that, then you're not real. And I was like, oh my, you guys are awful.
Who come? Is it a murder detective? Is that who do they send? That's got to be an awkward cover. Hey, I'm a cop. I solve crime.
Okay, this
but
is
we
how
can't
the
do it. I
first
need
one
I need a
happened.
psychic to help
Okay,
it.
the first one happened. And I blame my sister for this one. A friend of hers was an attorney who had to. Okay, I forgot how it all happened. He was an attorney who had to give this guy the life insurance policy from his wife that had passed.
Okay.
But everybody knew that he had killed her, but they just couldn't prove it.
Okay.
So he knew my sister, and she's like, well, my sister's visiting in town, me, from LA. Why don't you talk to her? So he called me just out of the blue, just to see. And I gave him I didn't even know the names. I didn't know anything about it. I just started giving all this information, where the lady was found, what kind of car, where the car was, how she had passed. And he was like, can you please work on this with me? If I hook you up with a detective, can you please, please, please do this? So that's how that happened.
And did it get solved from information that you provided?
The information I provided made them look so terrible because I said she was wrapped in this certain plastic from the house. And it was something they could have proved had they had it
Right.
or noticed it prior,
Right.
but they just totally lost it.
So did the guy get arrested? Did he?
No,
Okay. So it didn't help.
didn't help at all.
Wow. Any positive cases? Any cases that were solved because of something that you've contributed?
They found a boy.
Okay.
He'd already been passed though.
Okay. So like a
But
body
I
recovery.
did help them find the body. Yeah.
Okay. What was? Well, you said you had these abilities ever since you were young. So, what about family life? Did you, as far as having these abilities and all that, was it a pretty happy, healthy, stable household that you grew up in? No. Okay. Like violent household, just that kind of thing. Okay.
Pretty bad.
Did that contribute any way to your your abilities at all, as far as being within yourself a lot, or being kind of, were you a kid that was like happy to play alone? Did you have lots of friends as a kid? Anything?
I just tried to stay out of my house a lot,
Okay.
and I did a lot of sports, and I was just always, I did like being with people. I did not like being at home, but I knew it's like I had this knowing that this wasn't everything.
Okay.
this family wasn't everything. I'd leave someday. I'd be okay someday. I just had to get through it. I don't know if that's just being aware or psychic or whatever, but I just knew it would pass.
Okay. Did over time, I guess starting from a kid up until now, did the abilities and what you were able to do and the control that you have, did it get stronger? Mm-hmm. Okay. Can you talk a little bit about that? Yeah.
So like when I was in high school, let's say, I was just kind of a wild child.
Right.
You know, I was a high schooler, just being a high schooler.
Right.
And I didn't, I kind of just shut down that part of me, I'd say.
Okay.
And then in my early 20s, I became more aware of it. And then I realized that I was psychic, but I still couldn't do it on command. Like I still couldn't control it. When I was about 25.
When you say can't control it, you're just talking like, just any time during the day you'd have a flash of information or something?
Yeah, like say I was sitting across from you. I couldn't, like maybe I'd get information, but I wouldn't be seeking it. It would just kind of come to me. And then, or not. But now I can like turn it on or turn it off and do this and do that and use it whenever I want.
Is there a physical impact on you?
Yes.
When using this? Mm-hmm. Is it like an energy drain? Is there
Yes.
pain at all? Can you describe what that is?
Well, let's see. 2 days ago, I had 5 different readings, and they all were all kind of hard because they were very skeptical. 3 people were very, very skeptical. Like I wondered why they even called me in the first place, and they didn't really believe what I had to say to them. Like I kind of had to boss them.
Okay.
Like sometimes you do have to boss people. For the love of God, stop drinking. Or for the love of God, you need to go on some meds. Like, I see these things. And I don't say them because I think it's fun. I say them because I know it's really going to help you.
Right.
And so when that happens, it's just very, very draining.
Okay. Just exhausted, like a heavy workout, or is there any kind of
No,
unique
it's like
pain?
it's like a brain drain. It's like they're doing algebra all day.
Okay.
I hate algebra.
Is it do you feel like a headache sensation, or is there any kind of?
No, it's just like I'm emotionally drained. Like I've just got nothing left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just gonna shut off. How long does it take to recover?
I'm usually better by the next day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anything interfere with your abilities? Environmental, food,
No.
drug or drink, anything like that?
No, I don't do drugs or drink, but I bet you that would not be very good for me.
Okay.
The worst thing for it is when I'm dealing with somebody who is just completely skeptical. I mean, who just doesn't believe at all.
Right.
Like when I say something that I know to be true about this person, and they say no just because they want to be stuck in what they're in, it kind of just stops the whole flow. It just kind of stops me.
Right.
And I have to try to find another way around. And so I think who I'm dealing with can be the hardest part.
Okay. Have you ever had?
Oh, and when I'm dealing with people who are drunk,
Right.
they're hard to deal with.
Okay. I can imagine. Why would you want to get a psychic reading when you're drunk?
Well, sometimes, I do group readings.
Okay. Oh, like a party type deal?
And I always preface it by, do not be drunk during the reading.
Right.
So we try to do it early, because I guess here in Minnesota, people like to party more often than they do in LA. And every time they're drunk by the time we do it.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Have you ever done anything? Have you ever messed with a Ouija board?
No.
Is that you say that like it's a bad thing? Is that
A Ouija board is a horrible thing.
Well, okay, what is a Ouija board to you?
Well, a Ouija board is... Okay. It's like a doorway. And whoever's using it is opening the doorway to some people on the other side who probably aren't that nice. And they can come on through.
Is it always bad people on the other side, or is it?
Well, I think the spirits that would come through in a Ouija board will probably be like in the worst neighborhood, say, of the spirit world.
Okay.
You know? I mean, because...
Like Ouija boards always go to like the spirit world trailer park.
Yes!
Okay. Gotcha.
You don't want those people in your home or
Interesting.
near you. I don't tell everybody, don't even have it in your house.
I made one, like drew one, like on,
Yes.
like on a, like the back of this, like this cardboard on the back of this
Right.
Yellow legal pad. When I was in jail. I've been in jail a few times.
Have you really?
Yeah.
For what?
This time was drug dealing. I was arrested for drug dealing back in '96. I'm a much better person now.
But what kind of drugs?
Crack cocaine.
Was it a good business?
I thought it was.
Like, how much was it
How much
for some crack?
to buy some
Yeah.
crack for me, or to
Like
for
when
the
you were
consumer?
dealing, like, yeah.
I would sell like anywhere from $20 rocks to $100 eighth of an ounce. Huh. Kind of deal.
Okay.
It definitely wasn't worth it as far as social impact and as far as the risk and everything involved. I mean, I got shot that year and everything else too. It was a crazy time. But that was that.
I'm really glad you went into comedy after that.
Yeah.
That seems
a lot
like a
safer.
much better profession for you.
It's a lot safer. But anyway, when I was in jail, I made a Ouija board
Right.
on a piece of cardboard
Okay.
where I just drew out the letters and all the stuff that's on there, the yes and the no, and then I made like a little triangular thing that you put your hand. I don't know what they're called in real
Yeah, I don't know
life.
what it is either. Yeah.
I tried to do it inside of jail, and it didn't work for me.
Thank God.
I thought it would have been awesome. Well, in the fact of what kind of you would connect with in a jail, in a county jail. What spirits would you connect to? That was my only attempt ever.
Oh, because you wanted to connect with spirits in a jail or just spirits?
Well, to be honest, I was just bored as shit because I was doing 7 months in jail.
Oh, geez. Well, then you can do a Ouija board. Okay, fine. You get to do it.
But I thought if there was going to be some crazy spirit somewhere, then they're definitely going to be in a jailhouse.
No kidding.
But I didn't get any.
Oh, God, somebody was watching over you.
Some.
Seriously.
So tell me about that then. Let's talk about spirits for a little bit then. There's good and bad spirits? Is that?
Mm-hmm. There's good and bad people.
Okay.
And they...
Are spirits all the spirits of past people, or are we talking demonology stuff too, or what do you...
Well, I'm a scaredy pants.
Okay.
So I don't even like to talk about demons or any of that stuff. Because I think if I give that energy, I don't know, they'll find me.
Okay.
But I have run into some ugly, dark spirits.
Okay. During readings or
during readings.
Can you tell me about an experience?
Yeah, one reading was for one of my all-time favorite people in the world, one of my best friends, and a family member had passed, and I said, "Don't worry, I'll call him for you," which is what I call it. I'm calling them.
Okay.
So I called the person, and that person came right away, and it was so fast. Usually it's kind of like a gradual thing, but it was like this. And this person was like right in my face. And I said to my friend, I can't talk to this person. This person is legitimately one of the most evil spirits I've ever seen. I can't talk to him.
And this is a person that was formerly alive, human.
Yeah. And he wasn't a great human either.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I just...
Did your friend or the person you're giving the reading to, they not know that going into this?
Well, I guess we both kind of thought, I mean, this is sort of when I was newly doing this, I thought that maybe once you crossed over, you maybe were better.
Okay.
Like the human frailties or problems that you had kind of got washed away and your spirit was always beautiful. Not true.
Okay. If you live an asshole, you die an asshole. Is that...
Or you come into this world as an asshole, but you get worse at it, and then I think there's good and bad.
Okay. Is that the time you were the most scared while doing this work?
Mm-mm.
What? Is there a
I can
time?
tell you a good scary one.
Please.
Okay. I was doing a a group reading in L.A. I think it was Pasadena. And it was, have you ever been to Pasadena?
No, I've only been to San Diego. It's the only place in California I've been.
Well, Pasadena has probably like the older homes in California, I'd say. So maybe this home was like 100 years old or something. And I was doing this group reading, and we were in the living room, and I was facing the fireplace, and my back was to the rest of the house. And I was doing very fine with readings. It was fun. You know, we're all having a good time, and everything was going well. But I kept getting this, like, pressure on my back, like almost like somebody was, like, pushing on it on my back. So I kept, like, turning around, looking around. And then finally I told everybody what I was feeling. And then the lady who owned the home said, well, we do have this one kind of weird closet that we always hear things in. I wonder if that's it.
Okay. And
so right when she says this, like all the hairs on my body just start standing up. And I'm like, oh, no. And she goes, do you want to go look at it? And just out of pride alone, I did. You know, I shouldn't have.
Right.
But I just didn't know what I was going to be dealing with. Everybody follows me, the whole group. So it's like you go up these little stairs, and there's like, maybe it's like a storage closet or something with this really old handle. And the closer I got to that closet, I was like hot and cold at the same time. I was sweating, but I just kind of ignored it. Like, well, I can deal with anything. Okay, I open up the closet. There is nothing in there. They said they don't put anything in there because nobody wants to go there near this closet. And so I stick my head in, and I look to the left. Oh my God. And there's like crouching in this corner. So it was really, really dark in there. And crouching in this corner was like a black figure, like somebody maybe like wearing looks like a cape maybe over their whole body. And they were crouching, but I could see like these glowing eyes. So I look, I get it, close it, run down back in the living room, and I go, yeah, I can see why you guys are freaked out by that closet. There's something in there. And they were like, what is it? I go, I don't know. I said, it doesn't look like it wants to like be sinister or harm anybody. It didn't look like it wanted to get out and have fun and be a poltergeist or anything. But it definitely had some bad juju energy. Oh my God, that was scary. Seriously, I think my hair went white.
Was it, did it feel like it was a bad thing or a victim or like
it was a bad thing, but I don't know how I could tell all this. Like I knew instantly, definitely bad. Definitely had been there a long, long time. Liked hiding. Didn't want to leave. But
was there an age attached to it?
No, I couldn't really see a face. Okay. It was just like an outline.
Male or female?
I would definitely say male.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And it looked at me like, if you stare at me 1 minute longer, I will kill you. I mean, it was like just plain old this rage that I've...
Speaking of poltergeists and ghosts and things like that, is that part of your skill set and helping, you know, you said part of the medium work, I would assume, what that would fall under. I've heard, you know, listening to other podcasts or other things about ghosts and spirits and all that, sometimes they're described as being spirits that don't know they're dead or aren't ready to move on. Because
those aren't my very favorite ones, no.
Okay. Have you done any of that work or any of the experiences like that? Or?
Yeah, when I have to. When I have to. It's not my favorite.
Okay.
Because I think there are people who are good with that. They're just not afraid, and they're like, yada, and they can do it. But I'm afraid of evil. I really am.
Okay. Well, they don't all have to be evil, right? I mean, you can...
Oh, just plain old ghosts?
Yeah, just like a ghost. I assume a ghost who isn't aware of their dead or hasn't transitioned over, or whatever the technical term for it is.
Yeah, there are some ghosts that don't know they're dead. And so...
It's an air freshener that goes off randomly.
So I just try to tell them, if I have to talk to them, I just try to tell them to go into the light and what's happening. Because most of them are kind of confused.
Okay. Do they interact with you when you're talking to them?
Uh-huh.
So what is it like? They're putting up a fight? Like, no, I'm good. I'm alive.
No, they're just kind of. I'd say the spirits that don't know they're dead. I don't know if it's they don't. They more like got stuck.
Okay.
Like they didn't go into the light. I'm not sure how it all happens. They missed their cue. A lot of them, I know, initially wanted to stay back and take care of the family members that they left behind. Okay. Some of them really decide to do that for about a year or two after they die. So they're a lot very earthbound. But then when things ease up for their family and they see that people are healing, they'll go to the next realm. But maybe some of them don't, and then kind of start causing havoc. And so I try to tell them to go into the light, and I ask for help, and that usually works.
Is that really all that it takes? Is just that is this a out loud conversation, or is this an in your head conversation that you're having?
It's usually a whole big story in my head that I'm having with them. I talk to them in my head.
And is that all it takes? I mean, is there no other? I mean, are you lighting some sage in the house?
I'm definitely lighting sage in the house.
Right.
I'm lighting candles in the house. I'm cleansing the house. I'm asking every angel spirit that I happen to know in the business
right.
who would help me to help. And, sometimes it's, like this, and sometimes I have to come back to the house 2 or 3 times.
Wow.
Oh, my God, I forgot about the time I ran into the demon in the garage. That was a bad one, too.
Tell me about that.
Okay. I had this client, and she converted her back garage into an apartment.
Okay.
For her daughter to stay at. So we're doing this reading in her house, and again, everything's going fine, but I'm getting this prickly feeling in my neck. I'm like, what is going on there? What's that way? And she goes, oh, that's my daughter's apartment, the converted garage. And I said, well, there's something up back there. And she goes, yeah, we have noticed that. Then starts to tell me all these completely scary, horrifying stories about what goes on there. And I was like, oh my God. So we went back there.
What did she say was going on there? What are the horrifying stories?
Her daughter would get these scratches in the middle of the night.
Oh, Jesus.
Her daughter had a roommate for a while, and we found out that the roommate was actually calling evil in for energy.
Okay.
And I don't think the daughter knew at the time. And people, like the yard kind of around the area was just like brown, like it just wouldn't grow. And it was like cold. It was just freaky.
Tell me about, you said her roommate, the temporary roommate that she had was calling spirits in. Is this people that are trying to experiment with or dealing with like demons and...
I just don't think, they were young. Let's say those girls were like probably in their early 20s.
Okay.
Maybe they were just playing around. But you know how I found out that the girl did it? The demon told me.
Jeez.
He said he was summoned. So I walk into this cute little converted garage. It looks real cute. Open the door. I'm skeptical. I don't really all that, you think all that was happening? I say to the lady, and she's like, oh yeah, it's bad. And I walk in, and seriously, it's 20 degrees cooler. And I look over to my left, and there's like this weird symbol on the wall, like a evil symbol on the wall I think somebody put there.
Right.
And he is just sitting on the bed, and he was very he was see-through, but I could definitely see him like I see you. He had white hair. He looked kind of young. He had really long fingers and long fingernails.
Would he be described as a human form? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was scary. And I said, you need to leave. And he goes, oh, no. They asked me to come. I was like, all right.
So does he just end up staying there? And does he have
No,
to pay rent or what?
Well, so then I'm kind of cutting that story short.
Right.
More happened. I found out more from the scary person, the scary being. And we had to confront the girl because he wouldn't leave unless she told him to leave.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I said to the daughter, I definitely pick your friends better. And I didn't even know you could do that.
Can anybody do that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think you have to have something, I think like attracts like,
Okay.
for sure. And I think you have to have something a little shadowy or dark in you to want to do that and to have that come to you.
When we talk about bringing bad spirits, can you explain to me what? I'm trying to think how to ask this. What is, and this may not be acceptable science, but what is there as far as these interdimensional things, like other dimensions where these demons reside or these spirits reside?
Yeah.
What?
Where
are these things coming from?
Well, I think there's a lot of different levels.
Okay.
Outside of ours. And I know there's a lot of, high spiritual levels that go up to like nine different levels. So I'm sure the same goes for evil. There's levels of that. I don't know where they are, but I guess you can summon them to our dimension. The scariest thing about these negative entities is that I dealt with a woman who loved to go to haunted houses. She just loved it. She was like a little ghost hunter. And what happened is a very dark entity kind of attached itself to her energy. And it completely changed her. She started eating junk food. She started getting sick. She started getting depressed. I mean, all this stuff.
Is this like a possession?
No, it was just like some evil dude just kind of snarking her all the good energy from her. Because they're parasites, actually, these entities. And eventually, she started liking it because she got some sort of charge or weird energy from having this entity with her. And that just scared the living daylights out of me. That you could...
Did her personality change? Was she not as pleasant as a person?
Yes. And like, when you're telling her, I know you've got this entity attached to you, we can get it away. Let's do this. And she's like, well, why bother? I'm sure we'll just go. When you know, she just wanted it to stay there.
Right.
And she was so not like that. She was not like that kind of person at all.
You hear a lot of things. I'm a big conspiracy head.
Yes.
And I try to stay within the realm of the realistic ones.
Okay.
But something I hear a lot about when we talk about government conspiracies and like that, and they talk about the Illuminati, and they talk about that there's a cult-like group within government or within the country, the people who are somehow tapping into dark magic or dark spirits, and these are people that are high up in entertainment. These people are high up in politics and things like that too. Are you familiar with any of this stuff that I'm kind of referring to? And is there anything legitimate about it?
What do you mean legitimate?
Legitimate? Do you
like
believe
legitimately real?
Yeah.
Yes, I unfortunately do believe it.
Okay.
Well, I worked in LA for a long time. Actually,
Right.
I lived there for 25 years and spent most of my practice there.
Okay.
I've only lived in Minnesota for 2 years. And I would go to these famous movie stars' homes and do readings for them. And is it okay?
Yeah. It's my alarm. I forgot to turn off.
And yeah, it's yucky to say the very least.
So are these people that are tapping into this to get some kind of ability or some kind of...
I think it's more like they have to get to the very, very top. I think they have to sort of join something.
Okay.
And be groomed.
Okay.
And I think it involves a lot of really, really sick stuff.
Okay.
A lot of when I was there, when I left, the pedophilia thing had just started coming out. But I mean, I had known about that a lot longer, and it's something so abhorrent, yet it was so normal to them. It was normal for the victims. I mean, not normal. It happened so often that it was just, I don't know, it just was not looked upon as horrifically as it should have been.
Would I be right to think that it's like part of the accepted cost
Yes.
of being in an environment? Like
it's a great way to put it.
Okay.
That's a great way. Yeah. And they have Bryan Singer. You know him?
Yes.
Okay, so he's the director of the X-Men and
Right.
Bohemian Rhapsody and all this stuff. He's been raping little boys for 20 years. I know about it. I'm just some person's mom somewhere, and I know all this stuff. The DA knows all about it. Everybody knows all about it, and he keeps working day after day. He keeps getting more X-Men movies, this and that, and there's people coming out left and right saying what he did to them.
Is this something that you just believe to be true, or something that you have a psychic knowledge of, or how do you know how are you so sure?
About Bryan?
Yeah.
Well, you know about Bryan, right?
Was he the same guy that got in trouble about the tweets? He was making some pedophile. I might have him confused with somebody else.
No.
I thought there was a director who was an X-Men director.
Oh, Jonathan Gunn, I bet.
Maybe that was it.
No, Bryan Singer, he does all the X-Men movies, and he's just, you remember, what was that kid's name? He was in The Client. Brad Renfro.
Okay.
That was the sweetest kid. He was a great kid. And he was just wrecked. They wrecked him. And he died of an overdose when he was 26.
Okay. Like, I believe there's validity to a lot of this stuff, because I mean, you know, all the stuff that's come out as of late, a lot of the people, you know, the Epstein stuff, the Michael Jackson stuff, and then you look at Corey Feldman, things that he's talked about, and things that he's experienced or whatever. Yeah. Working as a psych in a medium there in LA, I mean, what kind of interactions did you have with these people? Were anybody coming to you for direction about that kind of stuff? Or how did you avoid those pitfalls working around in that kind of environment, I guess?
Well, I was in the entertainment industry until I was like in my early 20s. And I couldn't take it anymore. It was so gross. It was just disgusting. And so I knew a lot of the people that were talking from just being friendly with them and not as clients. But then later on, a lot of the actresses and actors and directors were my clients. And no, they never really wanted to talk about the really important stuff that was going on in their lives. They wanted to know when their next movie was, or how much will they make, and will they be on People magazine this week, stuff like that. And I always would try to bring it to something healing, like something that really mattered for them. And I would be able to see the trauma in their life that they'd experienced. I could see it when reading them. And I would try to steer it towards a way out of that, or healing from that, or something. But it wasn't always acceptable, or a lot of people just didn't want to talk about it.
Okay.
But Bryan Singer's got tons and tons of dirt on him that's available for anybody to see.
I'm going to write that name down so I remember to.
So it's Bryan.
Singer, regular spelling?
Yeah. don't watch his movies.
Interesting. So when you say that it's open and accepted there, and kind of it's a truth that people know.
Yeah.
I mean, do they talk passively about it? Is it, were you
Yes,
in the
they
same
do.
room with people who?
Oh yeah, they talk. Oh yeah, I had to screw that guy, or oh, if you're going to do a movie with him, you're going to have to screw him the entire time. I mean, very nonchalant.
What about anything beyond just, sex for roles type stuff? Was there anything like darker, be it pedophilia or be it like sacrificial? I look at something like I can't think of the lady's name. The lady who's famous to a lot of Hollywood types. She does the what they call that, the psychic cooking, where she would make the really kind of displays of have a human being. Would be like a certain,
I don't know what that is.
what was her name?
Psychic cooking.
Yeah, where she would make these weird. She was like a caterer almost, but would cater these very gross and demonic buffet type style meals where it would look like a human body, or they would have a human model. Do you know?
I've
what I'm talking
been
about?
to those parties where it's a human model with sushi.
Right, kind of like that, but it's darker. There's
So the main the main party area.
right.
They'd have the naked girls with the sushi on them and the wasabi in their belly buttons or whatever. But then only a certain few were allowed into the back where the real stuff was going down.
Really?
Yeah. They'd bring busloads of young kids in.
You've seen that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you?
And I remember when I was younger, I didn't know why.
Okay.
I was like, well, what are these 10-year-old boys doing here? I was thinking, well, maybe they're here to play with so-and-so's kids, or they're out in the pool, and I did not get it till later.
Did you report it, or did you talk to anybody, or hey, why are these people? Did you ask anybody else that was in the room? Did you get any kind of feedback as what they were doing, or was it excused in some kind of way?
The only other time that I saw that with my own eyes,
Right.
I did talk to somebody about it.
And
Nothing ever happened. I called the police.
police didn't do anything either.
I said, okay, yeah, thank you. Well, we'll look into that. Yeah.
Shit.
They're all, okay, think about it. So think about the famous movie star. There are 1,000 people that make money from his career that he's employed. And then there's Beverly Hills and there's West Hollywood making money from all these people. So it's kind of like a culture that's all in it together.
Okay. Was this part of the reason why you left LA?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, my
'Cause I got to think, in being in the circles that you would have to be in around there, you're going to interact with people who are on the darker side of psychics and mediums and things like that.
I know. You know what I
I
thought?
would think it'd be more prevalent there. I think. I guess.
I
What I'm trying to
thought
say.
for so long. That I could help, but I could be helpful, and that. No, I mean, I don't think so.
Is there any other? I know you got to avoid names of people
I
that you
do.
worked with and stuff. Is there any other specific LA related stories of either good or bad stories of when you were there?
Well, there's definitely a certain club. I don't know what it takes to get in it. I think you have to be the right kind of personality to be in it. And once you're in the club, you can have all the fame and stuff that you want. But you have to, I don't know what you do to get in it, but you have to do it.
When we say club, you mean is this like cult type club, or is this just
I think it's like
like an inner circle of there's actors and actresses, but then there's this next tier.
Yes, the next tier.
Okay.
Like all those A-listers, and it's not anybody. It's a design. You have to be let in.
Okay.
You have to do certain things to be allowed to be that way, to be an A-list.
Okay.
None of those guys get in there scot-free by talent. Maybe they're talented, but they also have to do some other stuff.
You can't just be talented. You have to do something. What is there what you would consider maybe the darkest experience you had being in LA circles, as far as? I mean, it's pretty dark seeing, realizing that these, 10-year-old kids are running around. But I mean, was there any, a client or something that maybe confessed something, or?
Oh God, I have a good one, but I just can't say it. Well, some people would, after I would meet them a time or two, would feel very comfortable with me. And so one time, this guy who's an actor and kind of a heartthrob opened up his door to let me in kind of like a Hawaiian muumuu dress.
He had the dress on?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, huh. I didn't say anything. And in my head, I'm going, well, maybe he's hot. Maybe he's out of clean clothes. I mean, so many things went through my head.
Right.
Then I figured that whole thing out. And I was like, oh my gosh, the women of the world would just weep.
Okay. Gotcha. So was there a breaking moment of why you had to leave LA to come to live here? Was there something that kind of pushed you over the edge there? Was it?
It was the LA, I believe, is the epitome of the decay of society. It is just, it just grosses me out to even think about it. Just so many homeless, it's just a decayed.
Right.
There's these people who are tribillionaires, living up in these huge mansions with bodyguards and being fed shrimp and grapes. And then there's, people living on the streets. It's just so, it's awful. And it's just got a very bad vibe.
I was weird. I was just going to ask you, is there a way to describe what the psychic energy of LA is? It's
a dark, it's like a heaviness. It's kind of like the pollution.
Right.
That's what it feels like. This heaviness inside of you. And everything that is revered or cared about is money. Birkin bags for $50,000, Mercedes-Benz. That's all that's important. Nothing is important inside.
Right.
So, and then I think it's probably going to fall into the ocean soon, so I thought I would leave.
Right. I'm scared of earthquakes, too. Let's talk a little bit about your job as a psychic, as far as the kind of the job structure of it. This is a job for you now, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is how you make your income.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been working as a paid psychic, paid medium?
Over 25 years.
Over 25 years. Okay. And can I ask you, what do your services cost, and how do you bill? For something like this?
I have always said that I will only charge as much as I would pay.
Okay. So
it's $150 an hour.
Okay.
And I do it mostly on the phone. I record the reading on a phone app, and then after it's over, I send the reading to my client, and they just pay through PayPal.
Okay. So when doing it on the phone, what do they have to provide for you to be connected to them?
All I need is their name.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I find them.
Okay.
That's how I find their energy, is by their name.
They don't have to give you any kind of background at all?
No, I usually
birth date or anything?
I tell people, don't tell me anything. I don't want any information from you. I want to get it all myself.
Okay.
If I'm having a hard time with somebody's name, I will ask for a birthday. Like if I just can't find them, no matter what, Like I had this woman the other day. I can't remember her name, but I kept getting this 54-year-old guy, and I knew she wasn't. She was a young lady, and I was like, "You better give me your birthday. I'm getting some guy."
Right.
So that can happen.
So are your clients now? Are they? Since you do majority of it over the phone, are you're getting clients from all over the world? Or are you getting?
Yeah, I've got clients all over the world.
Okay. How do they find you?
It's all by referral.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Without getting too deep into your finances and all that, but like on average, how many people do you have? How many sessions do you do in a week? What's an average work week?
Gosh, it really depends. I'd say summer is my slowest time.
Okay.
Like,
that's kind of an interesting angle too. That in summertime people aren't as concerned about.
Nah, they're just chilling.
The weather, everybody's happy in the weather. They don't think about their problems.
I get a lot of calls around Christmas.
Okay.
And then January, Christmas, and then January things just start rolling. So, like this week, I'll probably do like 15 calls.
Okay.
But I don't like to do too many, and I don't do it for the money. I really don't. I pay more attention to my daughters. That they're very important to me. My family's very important to me, and that is will always be my main concern. So, I do it as much as I can without taking away from my motherly duties.
Gotcha. When the people contact you, do they they just want a reading? Like, I just want a generic reading, or do they come to you with specific problems?
It's usually specific. Yeah. It's usually they either want to talk to somebody that has passed and they have something very specific in mind of who they'd like to speak to, or they're having a very specific problem in their life. And
is there a problem that's more common than others?
The big one I'm getting lately, and I swear this has been going on for about 2 years, is everybody they feel like they can't find their purpose. And that's really hard on them. Like they want to be living a purpose-filled life, and they just don't know how to get there or how to find it. And I love those readings. I love them. Okay. Those are really great healing things.
I can relate to that. I spend a lot of time wondering if I'm on the right path to do things sometimes. So I can see how that could be a common thing for people.
I wish more guys would call me.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Is it more ladies than?
It's more women. Gay men call me. Rarely do
What's the most common gay guy request? Is it relationship?
It's usually relationship advice.
Okay. Interesting.
So I had to learn all about that, like that whole culture. That's kind of different, than I know of. So, yeah. And
all age ranges? Is it really old folks?
Oh my gosh. One of my all-time favorite clients is turning 90 in December. And so I've got that, and I talk to teenagers, anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do a lot of your clients, are they keep coming back? Do they come for like constant advice, like on a weekly, yearly, monthly type schedule, or is it?
Well, if the people, like say I have a client that wants to call a lot, I'll say, why don't you let me know that you're wanting a reading? And then I'll check and I'll see if you really need one. Because sometimes, it's just, they kind of want to just talk, have a clearing for their talking. So,
you also have a degree in a therapy-related degree, right?
Yeah, counseling and addiction counseling as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's kind of helpful.
It is so helpful.
Because you can kind of balance people who are actually needing a reading or people who are, like you said, just looking for a conversation.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I really, if somebody's wanting a reading and they don't need one, I just say, you just don't need one. Why don't you call me next week or just check in? And when you do need a reading and I see you do, I will give you one, I swear. But I just don't want to take money for the money. That's no fun.
Right. I think you mentioned earlier that you had some issues where people they didn't like what you had to tell them.
Yes.
Do you ever have somebody just get flat out mad at you or for what you're telling them? And
oh yeah.
Can you, without giving too many detail about the client, can you give me an example of the news they didn't want to hear? Or
Okay, I will tell you one of the biggest, most popular questions I get
please.
from women.
Okay.
Guess what? I bet you can guess what it is.
Is he cheating on me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I get that all the time. Even if the woman doesn't really even think he is, just because they have a psychic on the phone, they just want to check. So the thing is, I'm not allowed to spy.
Okay.
So I go, I am so sorry. I would need permission from your husband to read him. I can't just spy on him for you. And they go, yeah, but. So they always get very mad about that, if that's what they wanted in the first place. And I go, but what's concerning is that you think he is. Now, let's talk about that. So I try to kind of redirect it to that, but that usually never goes well.
I was going to say, I feel like that's where it would take the turn to the counseling.
Yeah, that's when the therapy,
side of things.
that's when the therapy hat comes on.
Right. Well, look at I made a post earlier getting people to ask some questions because I got some questions I want to end up on. Oh, before we go to that, you had mentioned you had some supernatural and paranormal experiences, and you talked about the kind of the demon thing in the garage.
I have some good ones though.
But tell me what about those now?
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and start looking up questions.
I have had some miracles, and this is one of my favorite ones. And
Before you ask that, could you just use the term miracle, and you reference God, and
yeah.
Where are you at religiously?
I don't have a religion.
Okay. Do you believe in a God?
I believe in a source of all. I don't. I believe in, higher beings who are very intelligent, and I mean, I speak with them a lot. So yeah, I do believe in all that.
Okay.
But I don't believe in a religion.
Okay.
At all.
Okay.
Actually, every person I've spoken to in heaven says there's no religion there. But they have also said there's very many paths to find your peace with that source or whatever.
Okay.
So, however you get there, you get there.
Well, what is heaven, as you understand it?
Well, when you, it's kind of like where we're all from.
Okay.
It's really, really neat.
Is that an actual plane of existence?
Yes, it's a plane of existence.
Okay.
But there's different levels of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, say you want to come back. You're not going to go all the way up to, like, the chill zone where you've done it all, the chips are in, you've made it, good for you.
Okay.
But there's more like, there's that whole life review. That's true. You got to do that.
Life review. What do you mean?
You have to, with the help of some very wise beings, go through your life, look at what you did. Did you do what you set out to do? Did you do the mission did you live your purpose? And in these actions that you took in your life, how did other people feel? Like, how did you make other people feel? So you feel that. So you get to go through your life and see how other people felt about it, how you did with it.
When you say these beings, what's the definition of the beings that you're interacting with?
I would call them angels.
Okay. So is it not in like a biblical sense, angel, but is that just a term that you're giving it, or?
Yeah, it's just a term I'm giving it. I would just say angels is just easier. I would say just a very wise, loving being.
In your view, and it's kind of just another direction question, but is there a creator?
A creator?
Yeah. Are we created, or without getting into like a religious definition?
Well, you know what the most fascinating thing I found out is that, like, I never wondered where souls came from. But then I learned that souls are actually born. So we must be created somehow from that.
Okay.
Our souls are created.
But you've never had contact with somebody that would tell you, define what afterlife is, or what our creation history story is, or
You know what I just keep hearing?
What?
Is that it's too big. You'll just forget it. Your brain just will blow itself up.
right? Any psychic ability from? You say you have two daughters, right?
Yeah, they're both really psychic.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they cool with it? Are they?
Well, my oldest daughter is now at the point where she says that she doesn't believe in it. But that's just, she wants to revolt against me.
Okay.
But my youngest daughter just uses it all the time. We talk to each other in our heads.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I always call her up in her bedroom in my head. Arabelle, come down. She opens up her door, I swear, every single time. What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Was there anything else before I went to the questions?
Go to the questions. I'm kind of excited, yeah.
All right, let's see what we got here. So I just basically made a post on my Facebook page asking for people to ask. And the first one I got was from a dude named Chad Jones. He asked if you could teach people how to cold read. I don't even know what that is. Do you know what that is?
Uh-uh.
I keep my phone with this
Well,
microphone.
cold reading, what is that?
I don't know. If we assume that it was the ability to do psychic readings, maybe he means cold, just like some stranger that you met.
That's all I do, though.
Okay. Can you? Is it a skill that you could teach?
Could I teach psychic? I don't know. What I do think I could do is teach people to listen to their intuition.
Okay.
And I think that's a far better compass to navigate the world than your brain. You find the intuition, and I think your spirit is your intuition. So I think I could do that, but I don't know if I could teach psychic stuff.
Well, when you say listen to your intuition, are you talking about the voice in our head that we have, like when there's an issue coming up or a decision needs to be made? And
I always think of intuition as in the stomach.
okay,
What do you think?
I think it's in my head. I spend a lot of time, debating things in my head a lot.
Right. Well, do you think that's your ego and brain, or is it your spirit?
I don't know what it is. I do a lot of second guessing myself in life.
Yeah.
So I know that's a thing.
That's your brain.
Is that what it is? Mm-hmm. Okay.
You need to listen to your intuition.
I think I do too, because I always feel like when there's been a bad experience in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't listen to the first thought, and then I look back and was like, oh, the first thought was the right move. So I try to listen to it, but and I try to convince myself that to go with the first initial thought in most cases.
Don't even think of it as a thought. Think of it as like a gut feeling.
Right.
Like I really think that gut feeling, the first feeling you get, is the right one.
Would you say like gut feelings and intuition are those like minor psychic abilities?
I think that it's God's compass. I think He gave it to us and said, "Go forth, and this is how you get around in the world."
Okay. Tom Simmons, he wanted to know what the lottery numbers were too. So
I wish I knew.
now this is going to be a hard one. Okay, this is kind of a harsh question.
Harsh.
All right. And this is from Wayne, and he said, "How can you live with yourself with ripping people off?" Obviously, a skeptic about your abilities. So that's not really a question because you're not. You don't believe that you're whipping anybody off.
No.
Do you have any kind of response to the skeptic-minded? Because I think we all know that there's legitimately people out there who are ripping people off. And
yes.
What was the lady on the phone, the Cajun psychic? What was her name? I can't remember.
I don't even know.
It was back in the 80s, I think, or late 90s, I guess.
I think there are people that rip people off.
Right.
And I don't. I am the most reluctant person with this you've ever met. I didn't even want to do it.
So one of those things like you feel bad if you don't do it, but you feel obligated to do it?
I do feel obligated.
Okay.
I feel like in reality, I think this is a gift. And if I'm given this and I don't use it, then I just think that's wrong.
Okay. Well, here's another one from Wayne also.
Wayne.
But this is not a bad question because my mom died when I was very young. He wanted me to ask you, can you reach out to my mom?
Oh, after he asks me if I've been ripping people off?
Wayne's an interesting guy.
Huh. I need his full name.
Oh, he's talking about my mom.
Oh, your mom?
Yeah, my mom.
Can we talk to your mom?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
I have to get kind of into that.
Okay.
Do you want it? Should we just? I think we should do it at the end, though.
You want to do it at the end?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I kind of have to get into different mode.
Okay, we'll do that last then.
Okay.
We'll do that last. That'll be interesting. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I hit somebody's comment.
So she said that you were funny even as a kid.
Who?
Your mom.
My mom? Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Did you like to be the center of attention?
I don't know. Like I was like, it's like 6 days before, 6 days before my 5th birthday, or my 6th birthday. That's when she died.
Oh, I'm
She didn't know
sorry.
very well. Let's do some more. We'll do that at the end.
Okay.
Ask her if when she first realized she was psychic, was it a gift or did it some kind of event make her psychic? You said you were just born with that. That's from the.
Mm-hmm. But no, when I first realized the level of my abilities, I thought for sure I was going insane for at least 2 years.
Okay.
I was ready to be in the loony bin. It just came on so fast, so profoundly, and it was always on. And it freaked me out.
Another question. This is from Ellie again. She asked that last question. As a medium, has she ever had a client want to contact someone and they were a dark energy? Best worst story from being a medium. I think you kind of touched on that a little bit.
That scary dude, yeah.
Yeah, the scary dude who got in your face and you said you didn't want to contact him. Was that kind of the gist of your really bad experiences like that?
I have had, I've had people that don't want to come, that don't want to do it.
Right.
Spirits that just don't want to come.
Don't want to come because they don't want to talk to the people that are calling them?
I don't know.
Right. I owe the guy money. I don't want to talk to him.
Yeah, like, hey, I'm busy. I'm gardening. Like my own grandmother,
Right.
who's passed away.
Okay.
I can't get her. She's gardening all the time. She doesn't want to come. She's busy. Like, she tells me this. I'm like, all right.
I'll talk to you when you get here.
But she's just so like her in her real life. I'm just not surprised.
Let's see.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
You know who's hard to get? A suicide.
Ah.
They come in so differently. Like, if I have a client who says they want to talk to somebody, I say, don't tell me anything, just give me the name. And then they'll give me the name. And the way that spirit comes in, I can always tell it's suicide. Because they come in very reluctantly, kind of shy almost. Like,
All right.
kind of like, are you sure? I mean, they're just...
Like they feel guilty?
Or unworthy.
Okay.
Kind of like, yeah, unworthy, I would say.
What can you... That's a good topic right there. What can you tell me about suicide victims? Is there any kind of punishment for...
No.
Is there any kind of...
No punishment. I think it's like self-punishment is the worst.
Okay.
I think most of them have said to me, I did not... Well, all of them have said that there was no other choice at the time. And I really believe that. I believe that when you get to that point, that's really you think that's it. And then when they cross over is when they realize how badly the people they left behind feel. Because there is a real significant feeling of passing that's different than a regular death. A suicide really does something to the people they leave behind. And I think that affects them.
Okay. I got one more on here. I thought this is from Diane. She goes, ask her where the information comes into her. Is it a sound in her ears, visuals in her mind, visuals outside of her mind, etc.? I have a friend that claimed to be a psychic most of my adult life. And when I asked her that question, she answers that it comes as a sensation at the base of her skull, by the back of her neck, and from there it turns into a sense of perception no audio, no visual. You kind of answered that already, but do you want to?
Okay, so my little area is like the top of my head.
Okay.
I can feel it. I can sense it. And I even have an on-off switch up there that's pretend, but it's definitely, it's a brain thing.
Okay.
I'm using my brain. And when I hear or see something, it is with my third eye, I guess you'd say. I hear it inside my head, but it is very obviously a different person, a different voice, a different personality. I mean, you can just tell.
Okay.
It's not me.
Is psychic ability or the ability to be a medium, to you, do you think it's magic or do you think it's more scientific?
I don't think it's magic.
Okay. Do you think it's just maybe an ability skill that's maybe, like how we talked before
Right.
we recorded, like maybe we all have a degree of it?
Well, think of this. Think about the days of yore when we were hunters and gatherers. We had to be able to read a situation if we ran into other people or other places, and we had to read it.
Right.
Is this dangerous? Is this not dangerous? I mean, we had to have this for survival. So maybe mine is just heightened. I think we all have that in us, the ability to read a situation, to just kind of know it.
Where does deja vu rank in as far as psychic ability goes?
I don't know what deja vu is.
Well, as I understand it, it's the sense of having experience and then thinking that you experienced it before.
Right.
And here's why I ask: up until maybe my early 20s, I used to have a whole lot of deja vu experiences. It was never anything significant. It would be like I would be like the experience, me and you in this room together having a conversation. Like that would happen, and then I would have remembered thinking that it was going to happen a long time ago.
Oh, so like you remembered when you first thought it?
No, it's like I saw it before.
Right.
Some kind of way, either in a dream.
Right, yeah.
Or something like that. And then when I actually experienced it in real time, in real world, I instantly remembered back, whoa, I remember this before.
Yeah.
But it's never anything significant.
It's never anything juicy, is it?
Right,
It's
it's
just
nothing.
like something just mundane.
Super random, like
Yeah.
sitting on a city bus and,
I know.
and seeing somebody get on that you remember.
I know. I don't know what that is. I think it's kind of
But
like
as I
glitch.
forget in my 20s, I still have it every once in a while, but hardly
Ooh,
never.
I would want to know what was going on in your 20s.
I don't know.
I think, was it a wild time for you?
No, not really.
Were you in danger?
It's at that time I got shot. I mean, that was about that. But I know
Just the time you get shot?
that was the most dangerous time.
When I got shot.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought maybe something maybe I'm losing some kind of, as I'm aging, I'm losing some kind of ability or.
I don't know. I'd say if you were having a lot of them in a certain time period.
When I say a lot, I mean multiple times within a year, 3, 4, 5 times.
But enough
within
that
a
you
year.
remember.
Yeah.
I'd say that means something.
Okay. Because
Like-
now maybe once a year I'll have
Like just a little hello.
yeah.
Like I'd say like that. I'd say a deja vu is kind of like a message, like a hello from the universe. Like,
Okay.
we got you.
Interesting.
And reminding you.
But there's something there.
Yeah. There's
Okay.
more. There's more to it.
I wish I could get something that was worth a damn. It's always something ridiculous. It's
I
never
don't
anything
think-
useful.
But I don't think it matters. I think it's the deja vu itself.
Right.
I think that's it.
Okay. Gotta cross out my first one on there was lottery numbers. So
The snake next to me is really getting
she's
Excited.
hungry. I gotta get her
no.
some food. She's
like what, a rat or something? Or
she actually only eats guinea pigs.
are you serious?
That's what she was raised on.
So there's guinea pigs around here too?
No, I gotta go buy one.
Oh, okay.
But the other ones they'll eat frozen. You gotta thaw them out. But dead rats and all that stuff. But she only eats live guinea pigs. She won't eat anything else.
How big?
As big as I can get them.
So do you go to the pet store and say, I'd like to have some guinea pigs for sacrifice?
Here's a I've mentioned this before, and I feel bad, but I don't feel bad because snakes got to eat. If you go to like a pet store, most like the chain ones,
Yeah.
like Petco or whatever,
Right.
they won't sell you a live rodent if you're going to feed it to a snake.
Yeah, you can't be honest, I'm sure.
Right. So the first time I went there, I was like, "Oh," she goes, "Which one do you want?" I was like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. It's for my snake." Just give me the fattest one you got, and they wouldn't sell it to me. I was like, I couldn't believe it because like they also have a freezer of dead frozen rats. I'm like, clearly you understand snakes eat this stuff,
right?
Yeah, I mean guinea pigs are cute. They're super cute. They are. It feels bad every time I do it, but now ever since then I just go back and tell them, hey, I'd like to get me a guinea pig.
I'm starting a guinea pig farm.
And I go to the same place. I can't believe they haven't caught on yet because I'm there every
there's
month.
not a wanted poster with your name on it.
Eventually, so we'll see.
She's a cute snake.
Yeah, she is. She's good. Can you? These are just kind of my follow-up in questions here.
Hit me.
Do you have any kind of sense of a past life for me?
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to do that all right now?
If you can. If I don't know if it's going to work in this way of me just shooting questions at you or whatever like that. But
Tell me more of the questions so I know what to do.
I wanted to ask you about my past life. If I
Okay.
have a past life.
All right.
I wanted to ask you if you can speak to the dead.
Yes.
Can you ask Jeffrey Epstein? Did he kill himself?
Jeffrey Epstein's not dead.
He's not dead.
No.
Interesting.
His body was switched out.
Okay. Where's he at right now?
Probably on some island.
Okay. He likes islands.
Mm-hmm. Did you know that Jeffrey Epstein wasn't dead?
It's when the realm of possibility to me. I can't put a finger on what exactly happened where, but there's lots of nothing surprises me. That's if he was alive and they did do some kind of body switch, he would seem like the type of person, the caliber of person that would people would be willing to do that and have the finances to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And have the dark, dirty secrets for other people to want to help him and support him to do that.
Oh my gosh. If he goes down, everybody goes down.
All right.
They're not going to let him go down.
One of the other questions I want to ask you was the one I mentioned before we started recording was like, what is if you're to look into the future, social and political future for the United States, condition there. And, and the last one was, are there any spirits in the room with us now?
Okay. Let's do the predictions.
Okay.
And then we'll do the spirit stuff.
Okay. So let's go with future for the United States, social, political.
Okay. This is interesting because I did a prediction from July 2019 to July 2020. And the first thing I saw was Trump winning. I saw all these people around him yelling and hooraying, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I heard the banks are failing. And everybody who's anybody know, like the bank people know, we've got nothing to support the dollar. And so all the banks are failing. And what they're going to come out and say is, I see right now, is that they're going to say, well, this really isn't bad because we just want one world currency. And so they're going to try to spin it that way. And after I made that prediction, I found out that the Deutsche Bank in Europe and Germany was failing. People are taking out, that's like the biggest bank in Europe. People are taking out billions of dollars a day because that's failing. So that's an obvious one that we've actually heard about, but I don't know if we're going to hear about the other stuff until it's too late. I think a lot of I think we're just being programmed terribly to really fear each other, fear the world. And the more fear we have, the more they can control us. And I just wish that, like, don't pay attention to it. Don't do it. Don't do what they want you to do. The more you pay attention to that stuff and try to figure it out, the more energy you're giving it. But it is kind of fun to figure out.
Right.
That's the problem. There's a lot of fun rabbit holes to go down.
Yeah, I know. I deal with that a lot. It's like when I pull away from it, I feel better about it, but then I feel guilty for not thinking about it. So do you want to move to the
psychic stuff?
Yeah,
Okay, which one do you want to do first?
my past life?
Okay. Do you just want anyone, or do you want to ask me about something specific that I could go to?
Do
you feel, okay, let me ask you this. Do you have an affinity towards any place that you go, gosh, why do I love France so much, or something like that?
No. Not at all.
So
I have no, I know what you're asking
Right.
me. Like, I've never had a thought like that. I've never had a thought like I had a past life.
do you feel like that's true? That you have, do you believe in reincarnation?
I don't have I haven't made a decision on it. I actually haven't put a lot of thought into it, Mm-hmm. I think about life and death, and I wonder, what happens to consciousness when the body dies. I wonder if it just dissipates with life, or does it carry over somewhere else? So I'm curious about it, but I honestly haven't invested a lot of time thinking. I don't have any firm positions one way or the other.
Well, I've had 2 near-death experiences. And your whole self goes. I remember being so fascinated by that. Like, wow, my whole personality is kind of going. Like, I thought my spirit would be somehow, like, have music playing and I'd be really cool, but it was just me.
Right.
Okay, so your past life. I'm getting a lot of them. I keep hearing England over and over and over again. England. And I just heard you were a dapper fellow. Those are 2 words I've probably never used. A dapper fellow. Okay, so now I'm seeing it a lot quicker. Okay. So I see you, and you look very similar to how you do now. I see you older, though, and you're wearing a black hat. It's kind of like rounder on top.
Okay.
Not
like a derby hat kind of thing?
No, it's got like the rim, but it's rounder instead of like square on top.
Okay.
Like not a fedora. It's like bowler? Or?
Oh, a bowler hat. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You're wearing a black suit, and you've got this like cane that you don't really need, but it's cool to have, and you're going like this with it.
Okay.
And you're just like walking down the street. Where are you? You're in London. Oh my gosh, are you in banking? Yeah, you're in banking. But your dad was in banking. It's like a family business. You look single. I see you when you seem to be 50. I'm trying to like follow you. You're walking down the street. Oh, you say hi to everybody. You flip coins to people like this, to kids and stuff.
All right.
You say hi to the vegetable people, vegetable stand people. Like you're just a jolly guy. You're friends with everybody on the street. Like you're well known. I think your family's well known.
Okay.
You hate banking. Really, not fun for you. But you really just had no choice. That's just what you had to do. You followed in family footsteps.
Gotcha.
Oh my gosh, I think you might know like the royalty. I wish I can't get a name, but I think it's a name we'd know. When is this? So I'm thinking like the late 1800s or early 1900s. Like I still hear hoofs on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Still it's horses. It smells pretty bad. Okay, so now I'm seeing you at your house. You were just being jolly with everybody on the street, and you went home, and there's nobody there. I think there's a butler type guy there who lets you in, takes your coat, and you have this huge fireplace, like as big as a ceiling, those kind of fireplaces.
Right.
And you're sitting by the fireplace having some drink. I have a really pretty glass, and it's like a whiskey or something. And you're sad. You're just sitting there, and the guy says, anything else, sir? And you said, no, thank you. And you're wondering what your purpose is. It's got to be something else. You've got everything you could ever want, but you're alone. Should I go to your death?
Yeah.
Okay. Gosh, I just see you like you have this vibrant way with people, but you're really sad inside. I think it was like pneumonia or tuberculosis or something. Do you have lung problems now?
No.
And you went into this care center or hospital, or what do they call it?
Talking about the thing where you know you're going to die.
Where they sent all the people with tuberculosis. They put like asylums. Would they call them asylums or?
I don't know if it was that. I know what you're talking about though.
That word.
Yeah.
They sent you there.
Okay.
And you were just like, let's just get over with it. I don't want to hang around it much longer. You don't seem very old, probably like mid-50s. But I see you look very pale. And then you're still trying to jolly up everybody at the hospital. That's cute. I don't see any family there. Maybe they couldn't come. I don't know. I don't think you liked your dad. I think your mom, oh my gosh, I think your mom might have committed suicide. But maybe nobody knew. Well, that's sad. Okay, so I'm looking at you, and you're in this bed, and you're saying to yourself, I'm just going to go now. Like, I'm just going to make the decision to go. And you really just left. And I see you looking down at your body going, I'm glad that's over with. I'm never going to live a life like that again. You were happy that you made others happy. Like you really did. You were really good to like the poor kids and always had a smile for everyone. And you loved making them smile and you loved sharing what you had. Very different from the family you came from.
Okay.
They were more kind of like stingy. And so you liked that about your life, but you didn't like that you followed what your dad wanted you to do. You thought you could have done more. And that was in London, England, and I'd say probably like you died in, I keep hearing 1919.
Okay.
Your shoes were always shiny. Your mother committed suicide. That killed you. Oh, she couldn't take your dad either. Oh, depressing. There was this drink you could take, and I think maybe there was like morphine or heroin or something in it. I don't know. Something they use for pain, but I think a lot of people were hooked on it.
All right.
And I think your mom took too much of that on purpose. And she also thought you'd be better off without her. Her dad was a bully. Who I think was from Ireland and moved to England and got rid of his Irish accent. So there. Does any of that, like when you hear that, what do you think?
I don't know. It's like I'm
Does it resonate, or does it feel like, oh, that's just such bullshit?
outside of not liking banks. That sounds like me. I'm not a big fan of the banking industry.
You know what I think is cute? Is that in that life, you also wanted to make people laugh and make people smile. Like that was really what brought you joy. And don't you do that now?
Try to. Some audiences.
See? So isn't that weird? Like that's really stuck with you, that thing.
Yeah.
To bring make others laugh or make them happy or something.
How far back can you go in somebody's life?
Forever.
Forever.
Yeah. But I just asked for one that I asked to see something that might resonate with you. So that's the one that came.
So what can you tell me about my mom? Now, you already know that she died when it was 6 days before my 6th birthday. I'm pretty sure that's when it was.
Okay, can you give me her name?
Jane.
So Jane Vincent?
Jane. Oh, Vincent's actually my middle name.
Okay. Give me her full name.
Jane
Are you allowed
Goins.
to? What is it?
Goins.
Okay, will you spell her last name?
Her married last name or her birth?
Her maiden name.
Goins. Goins.
Well, she comes in kind of sad. It's something about her death. Or is this your grandma? Because I see okay, this is what I'm seeing. Ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, so at first I saw like a younger woman come in, and I felt like the sadness, and I heard my Joey. And then I saw like older female hands kind of holding you like around putting their hands on your shoulder right now. Mm-hmm. But it seems like older hand, like a grandma. Okay. Is your grandma passed away?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay, so I get this really okay, who is it, the grandma or the mom? I get this real depressed feeling. Is that your mom?
I don't know.
Okay, was it your mom or your grandma that, do you know this? Like, who would wear like really nice makeup and painted fingernails and have very well put together?
Definitely not my grandmother's. I can't remember if my mom was into stuff like that or not. I mean, my mom was very pretty. I remember that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back at pictures that I've seen.
Okay, did she have brown hair?
Yeah. Brownish blonde, yeah.
Okay, and did she kind of like, I don't know, it was just like a cute little style? She had like a really cute smile and kind of sparkly eyes. Oh, you don't remember her.
Now, she looked a lot like me. I don't have any pictures here of her.
Do you remember her loving you? Do you remember her like kissing you at night before you went to bed?
Not really. It was kind of a difficult relationship with her. She was a little
Was she just not well?
No, there was a lot of actually, I think she had a little bit of a drinking issue, and there was a little bit of physical abuse type instances that I remember. I don't remember a lot of positive things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was really weird. The whole time of her death and the stuff leading up to it, it was a lot of craziness between her and my father and everything else. It was an accident-related thing, and she died during a surgery. It was a blood clot. It was like a somewhat average surgery, but she just had a really bad reaction to it. And blood clot in whatever this artery is that goes up into the brain. That's how she died.
Okay, she's coming in as like somebody who added to their death, like somebody whose actions added to their death. And she's also a little prickly. Prickly as in she doesn't want to tell me a bunch of stuff. She doesn't want to be on the radio. And she would really prefer her privacy, is what she's kind of saying to me.
Interesting.
But I'm saying, so I am talking to her right now as you and I are talking. And I'm trying to like, just have her look at you, get to talk to your boy, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing for you to be here. I'm not going to hurt you. I say to her, I'm not going to ask you anything that you don't want to say. She says, don't you remember when I kissed you on the head? Did you go see her in the hospital?
No. Well, no, I think I did go see her in the hospital once. Like before her surgery. It happened really fast. Like it was the accident. Mm-hmm. And Like they had to do surgery on her, and then I think we left, and like the next day she was gone because they were doing that surgery then that night or whatever. If I remember correctly, I don't know. Maybe they didn't tell me right away. It was shortly after her death, though, that they told me. I know it wasn't. I don't know if it was like the next day or a couple days after the fact.
Okay.
Oh no, it was a couple days after because I remember because there was like people were starting to come to gather, which I assume now looking back, it must have been them getting ready for, funeral or whatever. And I remember it being kind of somber.
Okay. Do you remember? Okay, she keeps showing me this over and over again, so I got to keep saying it. Somehow you visited her in the hospital. Maybe it was before she went into surgery. I don't know, but she kissed you somewhere on your forehead or something.
If it does, I don't remember that. May have happened.
Just put it out there. Just So I kind of think I get why she's kind of reluctant. Is that she is embarrassed about how she was. She said that she wasn't a very good mom. She didn't know. I think, you know what? I think she had probably really bad postpartum. And that was probably before people really knew much about it. But there's something in her brain that's not right. It's like either depressed or bipolar or something just not right. Does that run in your family?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't know any cases.
Does anybody ever even talk about your mom?
I don't really. I'm not connected to a lot of my family. I mean, a lot of my family has passed. I'm definitely estranged from my dad. I don't really get along with him at all.
God, just like your last life.
Yeah.
You were totally alone in that life. So are you really you're totally estranged from your whole family?
For the most part, yeah.
That's fascinating. You would have been estranged from your mom as well.
Person who I was closest to was my grandmother on my father's side. She raised me after my mom died from 6 to 12. And she was who I was probably closest to.
What's her name?
Ann Merkler.
Well, she's cute. She has a soft heart.
She, of all my family members or people of importance, I would put her as probably the highest. She was, I was closest to her.
She did not like your dad. She did not like the way your dad treated you. Did she take you away from your dad?
No, my dad kind of wigged out after my mom died. It was a lot of weird shit that went on. My mom was having another relationship. Mm-hmm. He found out after she died.
Oh, God.
And we had left him. We had lived in Wyoming at the time. Was it Wyoming? Yeah. And we kind of left to go because they had a falling out or for something. Mm-hmm. And we went to go live with her mom, which was in Arkansas, and that's where she had an accident. And so, their relationship was falling apart, and then she just died out of nowhere out of this freak
Your
thing.
mom had an accident? What was the accident?
Fell off a horse, riding a horse, broke her hip. That's why she had to have surgery.
And do you think all of this is all true?
All of that story? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know all that's for true.
Okay.
For true.
Okay. I feel like we're missing some really important pieces. But I do love your grandma. I'd love to talk to your grandma. She says she wants you to remember that love. She loved you. Really loved you. You were like this present. Out of nowhere. A gift. She got to... she was excited about having you in her life. Oh, that's nice. Okay, what else did you want to ask me?
That was it. Oh, was there any spirits in the room with us?
Yes.
Okay.
And I knew I should have brought Sage with me, and I didn't.
Okay. Does that mean they're bad spirits then? If I need some
No,
sage?
but I don't know if it's spirits or energy. I'd have to tune in a little bit better. But there is, are some of these things old? Like the things you've got around here?
It's very few. I'm trying to think. Age-wise. Most of this is modern junk.
Okay. Have you had, like, strange people down here?
Yeah, constantly. Almost all the interviews I've done are down here. Almost.
And
all.
are they all strange?
I like strange, so yeah.
I know. Anybody funky? Anybody kind of, I don't know.
A lot of comedian. One of the most recent ones was a guy who's had some supernatural interactions. He had multiple witnessing of UFOs. And
Was he young?
Not 40, like 30s, mid to late 30s, I think his age was.
Okay.
And he's also had some very interesting, that he described him very similar to the way you described him, some paranormal experiences of seeing kind of a shadow type person in a situation. He had 2 paranormal interactions like that, and then multiple UFO sightings.
Well,
If I was to say weird, that might be the weird, but I don't know. I know a lot of comedians that are weird as shit too. So
oh my God,
they've been down here
you
too.
Comedians, I would love to do a show just asking you about comedians.
It's an interesting subset of humanity. It really is.
Because you guys have some dark stuff in you, don't you?
Most of them, yeah.
All of you, like, what is it?
I don't know. It's a lot of, everybody uses using the term broken toys. It's a lot of broken individuals seeking acceptance, and the most extreme way to do that is get on the stage and
make
try
people
to make
laugh.
them laugh. That's probably
Does it
what it
make
is.
you feel less broken? If you make somebody laugh, does it heal a part of you?
Maybe it does. I don't know. It's really a selfish endeavor because it's a drug like no
Really?
other. Yeah.
Like hearing people laugh?
Just the power of creating it. It's a very ego thing. You got to have a substantial ego to think that, whatever shit thoughts you have are going to be funny and people want to hear them.
No kidding.
So the power to motivate an audience into laughter, it's almost like creating a little bit of magic, a little bit of
It is magic.
little sorcery in a way.
I love laughing. I think it's the best gift in the world. But I feel so bad that you guys feel so bad inside.
It's the exchange, right? With every skill, there's every positive, there's a negative that balances it. To be on that plane of finding humor in darkness or whatever, you have to have you have to experience the darkness too, I think.
But don't you think making people laugh is like the best gift ever?
You mean to the people you're making laugh?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Some comics will tell you, "Oh yeah, I just love making people laugh. I love." No, we do it for ourselves. It's really,
Really?
oh yeah, totally.
So you don't.
If I didn't get
flying doohickey, what the people feel? You're just happy you're up there.
I'm sure it's a component of it, but it's really I'm telling you, man. It's the first time you make a room full of people laugh over your own thought. It's intoxicating. It really is.
But this is what you're supposed to be doing. If you want to know what your purpose is.
I hope so.
Who's your favorite comedian?
Living Dave VanTole.
Who?
Dave VanTole, that guy behind you there in that picture.
Oh, I don't know him.
He's a dirty, filthy comic. He's probably my all-time
He's blue.
favorite.
He goes blue.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
That's the only thing I know about comedians.
He's my all-time favorite. My other 2 favorite are dead. That's
Who?
Greg Giraldo and Patrice O'Neill.
Gosh, nobody I know. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
What do you think about Ricky Gervais?
I like him. He's not my style.
But don't you think he's got the best laugh ever?
He has a really good laugh. He does have that.
I wish he was my spirit animal.
He might be.
Who's Daisy?
That was my pit bull.
Oh, so her remains are in here? Mm-hmm. Oh, you loved her.
Yeah. She was a special dog.
Okay, well, no wonder there's so much energy around here. We have a pit bull in front of us.
Lots of creatures.
Lots of dark comedians in the area that were here. I would just sage it. I don't think it's like anything smart, like anything intelligent. I just think it's like funky energy.
Okay.
So I don't think there's, except all the people behind you that know you. There are some spirits behind you.
Are they good or what? Are they?
Well, it's your grandma and your mom.
Oh, okay.
Then there's some guy who seems like an uncle. Or a great uncle. I mean, like, he just joined the party.
Interesting.
Like, I don't think you even know him.
Really?
Do you know any of your uncles that passed away?
I know a few uncles, a couple of them.
Okay, this guy has like suspenders. Like, I see the suspenders. Like, he's showing me them.
That doesn't ring a bell.
And he would go like this.
That doesn't ring a bell.
He's got gray hair. He looks really old.
No clue.
Oh, you're killing me.
I'm sorry. But then again, I've been so detached from my family for so long. Who knows?
True. Anyway, it's all good people around you.
Good.
People that want to see you do well.
Do you have a message for the listeners before we go? Something to end on?
Yes. I think it's really important to choose who you are. Just don't let it, I mean, we all flounder at times, but like decide who you are. Decide what you stand for. Decide what you believe in, and then follow that. I think that is probably the worst thing that's happening to us all, is we're just floundering. Oh, screw this, screw that. Doesn't matter anyway. What we do here does matter. We create energy that's eternal. Energy never dies. Every thought, every action, you're creating an energy. Decide what you want that energy to be. What do you want to put out there? It matters.
That's a good message. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for having this conversation with me.
Thank you.
All right, there it is. Did everybody make it to the end? Did everybody listen all the way through to that one? What do you guys think? Have you picked a side in this debate on, is the psychic medium, is that a real thing or is that a bunch of bullshit? I don't know. I enjoyed the conversation. I know that. She was a very pleasant lady. Enjoyed having the conversation with her. A very attractive lady. Had a very, very cougar appeal to her. And just very kind and very sweet. Very nice lady. I would enjoy talking with her again. I'm not going to tell anybody that my views have changed. I still am very suspect about the idea of a psychic and medium. But again, having the conversation didn't hurt me in any kind of way. Made my life better having the conversation. Knowing more about her, about what she believes in, and then meeting a really nice person, right? And that's kind of what the point of a good conversation is about. And I hope that's something that a message that people take away from this podcast, if nothing else. And also all the messages about masturbation, because we talk about that a lot too. All right. Anything else I need to include in this? I don't think so. All right, guys, make sure to spade and neuter your pets and children. Make sure you keep seeking the truth. Make sure you get out in the world today and do something positive, right? All right, do something positive for a psychic or a medium, right? Even if you don't believe in something they believe in, right? Just stop by their old, their psychic media. What are they called? Is it a parlor? You go to the psychic's parlor? That can't be right. What do they call that? Is it a nook? I'm going to go stop by the psychic nook and get me up. I don't know what it's called. Whatever their place of business is. If you know a psychic, swing on by. You don't have to spend any money just to stop in and say, hey, how you doing? I may or may not believe in what you believe in, but I just want to say hi and make your day a better day. Right? That's a good thing to do, right? There's always a psychic in somebody's town. Somebody claiming to be. But again, big thank you to Renee VanTol. Appreciate the conversation. And remember, go to reneevantol.com if you'd like to check out her website. All right. I was in the middle of saying goodbye, and then I started doing a plug, so that was weird. But whatever, we're going to go with it. Yeah, so I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Try to take care of the world. And I will talk to you, spit it out, talk to you in the next episode of the Filter Free America podcast. Bye-bye.